Oh, no.
All right, here we go. Freeform. All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast. Hang on. All right, it's working. Take two. All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, here with my buddy through the miracle of computer time and late week catch up, Jon. Jon, how's it going?
So she's finally done it. She's thrown you out. You're living in a hotel. It's finally happened.
Listen, I live a blissful...
We knew this day would come.
I live a blissful domestic life. I love my family. I have the easiest, most perfect... I got a great standard of living. Just everything's perfect. However, right now I'm living on the road. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. My hotel room is awesome.
High on the hog.
I'm living like...
Are you at the Hilton?
I got to say, all right, the last 3 times I've come to Memphis, my wife and I, we came and we stayed at like a pretty pricey hotel, like, you know, because we wanted to stay somewhere close to the game. We didn't want to, so we wanted to stay somewhere near downtown. It was like well over $200 a night. And it was just a garbage hotel. Like, I don't remember what it was, but it was like, it's like a well-known, like a Marriott or something. And I was just like, a terrible hotel. But I'm like, all right, we paid for the convenience. We paid for the location.
It's downtown.
Yeah, downtown. Fine. The next time I come, also similarly, a pretty expensive room, over $200. This one's like an economy suites or I can't remember. It actually was totally fine. The decor of the room was hilarious because the TV was the size of an iPad. It just like it had a big mantle with like the TV
where the stand is like a human neck and then a small TV.
It was the Office episode, the dinner party, where Michael Scott is pointing towards his like, Jan let me buy this plasma TV, and it's the world's tiniest plasma TV. That's what it was in this hotel room. So
this is like when Chuck talks about rap lyrics on the show. Is what just happened.
Oh, when I mentioned that, everyone knows what I just said.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm lost.
A very well-known, popular episode of a big sitcom.
I should know just from memes, right? I should know.
Probably. But anyway, so I wanted to stay downtown. I wanted to stay this time walking distance. Yes, not even car. I don't want to Uber. I don't want to drive. I want walking distance. And so I was just shopping and it was a reasonable price. It was actually under $200. And I was like, you know what? It looks fine. I'll try it out. My expectations were so low. This room is incredible. It's like a corner room. I have like 6 windows in this room. I have like a view of a downtown city streets intersection.
This is so good that you're not going to reveal it, are you?
Well, I mean, they're not compensating me, so I mean, I don't feel like.
Nor do you want the price to go up because of.
I don't want the price to go up.
Advertisement.
I'm talking about like I was so pleased with the way the room felt that I'm going to request the specific room number again.
Hell yes,
or at least similar. Like I want to stay on the northeast corner of the hotel because like there's like bay windows. There's like a little stool and like a little. It's beautiful.
This is like the hotel room in The Conversation where Gene Hackman witnesses the murder, kind of.
A little bit, honestly, a little bit. I will say, however, if you traveled
when you flush the toilet,
if you've traveled recently, that was for our Francis Ford Coppola completists who know. That deep cut.
John Cazale.
I mean, it's not a deep cut. It's one of America's greatest films. I'm just assuming the number of people who know that reference about flushing the toilet versus the office party or the dinner party reference.
I think more people have seen The Rainmakers in The Conversation, sadly.
Oh, I would. Yeah, probably. Sure. No, the only problem is, I guess, if you've traveled anytime recently, they're doing the thing where like, hey, we're conserving energy.
Right.
And not cleaning rooms.
Yeah.
It's like, well, all right. Like if you need your bed, I don't make a big mess, but I do like having my bed made. I can't make it that well. I don't know how to get that tuck.
That's military precision.
Yeah. The military corner. I don't know how to do that.
People don't realize that every maid is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran.
So I have I guess I have to call the front desk and just be like, hey, will you come make my bed? And then that makes me feel weird. Like they're making me, and I'm not normally one, as you know, to like have that restriction in place on me. Like I don't care if it makes me feel weird, but this, it feels like too much. I just want to be the polite, easygoing guest.
It's probably too much then.
But I do want my bed to be made. So we'll see how it goes. Man, so
here's what you do. You need to come up with another consideration that's more realistic and plausible than just make my bed. So what I suggest you do is vomit on the floor and call them and be like, oh, while you're taking care of my vomit, can you make my bed as well? I'll be in the bathroom.
I think vomiting
more. You
have a good idea, but I think your suggestion is horrible. I think I could just say, hey, could I get some more Keurig cups for the coffee maker?
Blam.
You know, just no one's scared of.
See, my heart or my intestines were in the right place, but just couldn't stick the landing.
The thing is also, I have a thing hanging on my door that says like housekeeping, please.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I think because at the front desk when I checked in, I wasn't paying close attention. I believe they specifically said I had to physically request it. Like, and I don't know. This thing's been hanging on my door for 6 hours.
This is what they told you in orientation.
Yeah. It turns out there was an orientation.
Got to reacclimate people to travel these days.
I got to tell you, I don't know if this is the wonderful world of technology. This downtown living, they have a parking garage next door that they don't own. They're like, well, we suggest parking right there. And they're like, you need your phone. You call a phone number. And when I call the phone number, and then the gate raises. It's just like you call it and it's like instantaneous. And I'm like, this is a magical world of the future I was not expecting. Memphis, it's incredible.
There's a Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons movie directed by Michael Crichton called Runaway.
Oh,
that's essentially when all these things happen and they dovetail into a Skynet-like premise. And then in the end, Keith, you're eaten by mechanized spiders. So don't get too comfortable.
Tom Selleck in that movie is a dreamboat and very charismatic. He's just great. He's magnetic.
Yeah.
It made me understand maybe his
Swagnum PI, man.
The Swagnum PI, which I didn't get that much as a kid. As a grown man, I was like, that's what I would like to be like.
Man, if you ever need a pick-me-up, just YouTube Mike Post Magnum PI theme and just get ready to run through a wall. You're going to jog 5 miles.
Anyway, John, the Grizzlies played on national TV on Wednesday night.
Did they ever?
They're playing the Pacers on Thursday night. By the way, I bought myself a ticket to the game on Thursday night. I have media credentials, but I did find one like on the 4th row behind the scores table that was less than the price of my hotel room. And I was like, yes, thank you. I'm going to try to do that, but
you gotta get some swag to hold up.
I forgot.
Giant foam finger.
I forgot my Fastbreak Breakfast grout towel. It's a horrible mistake. No, what did you think of the ESPN presentation? I was at the game. It was a very exciting game, but what did you think of the all access ESPN stuff?
Double-edged, Keith, because it's one of those things that like, now that I've had it, it's going to be hard to go back to the Jefferson Pilot sports type presentation that we get on Bally's. Like I'm not ready to lose. Like there was like some Shining level steady cam going on. There were like, it felt like there were cameras on ropes swinging through the air, cable cams. They had that crazy like super HD that doesn't even look real. It looks like a Mexican soap opera almost. Sure. I mean, I'm not ready to go back. I even enjoyed, I love Brevin Knight and Pete Pranica, but it was pretty fun to hear a more centrist take, if you would. Yeah. I loved it, but I'm going to miss it.
The local broadcast is elite, even compared to other local broadcasts with the number of statistics they provide. I actually really like that. Like I love our local. I think we're very lucky. Oh, well, Pranica and Brevin Knight are great, but also like they give a great bit of awesome information, like very detailed, awesome information, which the ESPN broadcasts never give you. They don't have like any basic stats, but the presentation wise, like I heard people talking like production, just kind of back scenes hanging out, how ESPN brought in all these RoboCams and it was like their conference finals level.
The arena looked different.
It looked shinier. Like I haven't been to Memphis in 2 years for a game.
Were there Oompa Loompas, ESPN Oompa Loompas running around?
I don't know if they're like, hey, listen, we got to brighten this up. You got to turn the lights up. It seemed brighter. They had all the statistics, all the graphic, the scoreboards that were all with the ESPN logo, and everything did seem just, I don't know, it was popping a little bit more. And I don't know exactly what was going on, if they changed, the Instagram filter that were my eyes for that game, but everything was very, very vibrant. Did they talk on the broadcast at all? Like, how heavily do they go into the Grizzlies are now 15-2 without John Morant, and this team owns. I felt there was play.
I felt it was the crucial stat, that they kind of couldn't let go of no matter what happened.
Sure.
It was that. And then there was as you're used to with national broadcasts, I think this is maybe a Bill Simmons effect. There's like a Dylan Brooks obsession.
Well, he had 21 field goal attempts through the first 3 quarters. Did you notice how many he took in the fourth quarter?
I don't know if he had an assist either. If he did, he only had 1, right?
I'm not sure. He didn't have very many. But he had 0 field goal attempts in the fourth quarter in a glorious, well-played fourth quarter where the Grizzlies got back in charge and won by double digits.
I mean, I feel like we need to reverse the roles here. You're asking me questions. I want to know what it was like to be live and in person for an actual meltdown.
Oh my goodness. It was so good. I mean, every shot. People would be like, oh, it's so sad that Keith didn't get to see John. I'm like, are you serious? Did you see what happened? That's
right. It was a meltdown.
It was a meltdown.
Be better.
It was 6 made 3-pointers from D'Anthony Melton. Also a poster dunk
on
sport.
Your proto Melton. James Johnson was the Melton before Melton.
Melton was the Melton before Melton until someone told me there were domestic violence allegations, and then I had to give him
Johnson. Yeah.
And also very sad news, I guess.
But look, when your hands are registered as deadly weapons, any sort of interaction, like if you make the wrong, if you dip the lady too wrong at a wedding, I think that's domestic violence. John.
There were rumblings of why James Johnson was not a preferred player around the Grizzlies. But no, Melton had a huge game, and it was obviously very, very exciting. I was titillated. I mean,
I think if Chuck were here in spirit, he would say tumescence.
Yeah, you could say that. And it was very, very exciting. Also, I got to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of like the national NBA people. The only thing I have to report is it appeared as if Michael Wilbon.
This is big, folks.
Jalen Rose.
Clip this for your TikToks.
And Stephen A. Smith were sharing the same popcorn. It looked like they had one bucket. And like Stephen A. Smith was eating it and then flossing, which is like, that's just professional. That's the way an adult has to deal with popcorn. I think it's no big deal.
That's like the accountant. That's more than professional.
Yeah. And but then Jalen did go get his own bucket of popcorn, but I'm pretty sure at one point they were all sharing the same popcorn, which is fine. I mean, communal.
They're just like us.
They're just like us.
We would never.
Woj waved at me when I was filming him walking off his set while Hot in Here was playing. Because I thought just the combination of just Woj walking to the music was really, really funny. And then he actually turned and waved. It was seeing that I was filming him. I was probably close enough where it was not surreptitious. Like he could see that I was filming him. So he waved. So I guess I'll drop that in our Patreon only Slack.
That was gentlemanly of Woj.
Woj walking, waving to
I feel like, as we've covered on past shows, if you're being filmed, all bets are off. You can do whatever you want. You can throw that phone. You can, if you're an NBA player, you can do whatever you want.
Would Woj get fined if he threw my phone? I know. Poor Nurkic. Unrelated to the Grizzlies, the Trailblazers got annihilated again on Wednesday night. I saw this stat. They now have the most.
They were heartless. They
were heartless. Resting our guy Josh Hart. They have the most 30-point losses in a season ever. This season, they've lost 8 of their last 13 games by at least 30 points. No team in the history of the NBA has lost more than 5 games by at least 30 points in a 13-game span.
Have the Washington Generals lost that many games?
That's incredible. And they're still a solid 2 games ahead of our Sacramento Kings.
Next team, who without De'Aaron Fox beat the Pacers.
Well, the Pacers, who I'm going to see tonight, the Pacers who are resting Rick Carlisle, he's not coming.
Wow.
And also a bunch of other players. One guy's out. Isaiah Jackson's out with a headache, which they called. I mean, do they know he's going to have a headache 8 hours from now?
He got a concussion last week.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'm making fun. But.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No. Honestly, Jalen Smith was out a couple of games ago with a head bruise. I'd never seen the word head bruise written on an injury report.
That's some Ferris Bueller's Day Off stuff.
It seems like it.
I've been enjoying friend of the show, Caitlin Cooper's tweets, and I knew this day would come. Just the simple question of, can Buddy Hield dribble?
What's her conclusion?
That was it. It was just open-ended.
They did.
Buddy Hield dribble? She
did come through. Caitlin Cooper did on me wanting to know more about Terry Taylor. This guy, Terry Taylor.
The Red Rooster.
Is that his name?
It was a professional wrestler from the WWF.
Oh, thank you. Terry Taylor, who apparently played at Austin P. Let's go P.
Okay.
He is a shooting guard by position on NBA.com. He's shooting 75% from the field for like the last 5 weeks.
Embarrassed.
I was like, what's going on?
Human. Yeah.
I was like, what's going on with this guy? Apparently, he's really great at slipping pick and rolls. He's really great at back cuts. He's really great at offensive rebounding. So he's just like
as a shooting guard. Interesting.
Yeah, I think he's your classic, very small power forward.
Is this a Bruce Brown situation?
Yeah, it might be a Bruce Brown situation
where Bruce Brown emerged as a shooting guard and is now like just a big man.
Was it? I believe the guy's name was Paul McPherson. Is that right? Who played for DePaul? Maybe he was on the Suns. I'm now Googling this to make sure this is accurate. Yeah, that's exactly who it was. He was 6'4", but honestly, his preferred position was like center.
Yeah,
but he made it.
Forget the 5. He played the 6.
Yeah, something like that. But I assume this guy Terry Taylor, who seems really cool, might be in that same.
Some guys, they just have like asses like Ursula from Little Mermaid, where it's just sprawling and you just can't get around them. I mean, it just happens.
What did you see on Wednesday night? Did you catch the Suns comeback? It looked like the Timberwolves were talking all kinds of trash to the Suns, and then the Suns house them in the fourth quarter, have a 42-point fourth quarter, and now tonight on Thursday, the Suns are getting back Chris Paul.
I mean, the Suns, I feel like that was like a statement victory almost, especially when, like, I don't know if you saw Karl Anthony Towns dunk, but it was like, I thought it was like a sword in the stone moment, but then the sword got put back in the stone. But like, I mean, this is one of those cases where I think Pat Beverly worked against them.
Oh, Pat Beverly gave him a little too much.
I think
moxie.
I think he like enraged Devin Booker and turned him into like Super Saiyan Goku. Like it was,
Well, I saw the thing of Karl Anthony Towns just clapping in dudes' faces.
Yes,
and then doing like mouth them with his hands, like look at these crybabies type thing.
He did some Kevin Durant 2 Smallings,
and I was like, Karl Anthony Towns. I don't know. It's like when he does it, it seems offensive. It's one of those things. Like it's okay when like John does it, but when you do it, it seems offensive. Like I don't know if you're doing it right.
Right. But I mean, I'm a Timberwolves believer, but I'm telling you, the Suns just keep showing us in new and scary ways that they're just on another level than most teams.
Are they going to win the title comfortably? And we're going to be like, why didn't we think that was obvious the whole year? Because they're so much better than everybody else.
I'm starting to feel that way. Like, I feel like they are just on another level than the other teams. When we play teams, when the Grizzlies play teams, I'm like, man, I'm ready for anybody. Like, we're on the level. Like, I'm not comfortable, but I don't feel terrified, especially like the notion of a, one night win, especially. I feel like anything's possible. When I play the Suns, I expect to lose. And I expect to lose by like 12 points. It's a nightmare.
They're fantastic, and obviously getting Chris Paul back, and then of course the secret Cam Johnson. If Cam Johnson ever returns, this team will approach full Voltron.
I mean, the Suns are like the Grizzlies in where it's just like next man up mentality.
Landry Shamet's going to kill you tonight. Yeah,
to the point where we are probably. I can't believe we're saying this after last year's playoffs. We're probably underrating DeAndre Ayton again. It's just happened. We've seen too many guys step into his role and do well to the point where we're just like, wow.
Anybody, if Bismack Biyombo can do it, if Jalen Smith can do it, then when you get someone who's actually pretty good, he looks unbelievable. It's still wild to me. This Suns team has made so many transactions I just didn't understand.
Right.
Like didn't they trade a first round pick for Landry Shamet? And I was like, why? Why would you do that? They gave away TJ Warren in the salary dump. They gave away, we know, the D'Anthony Melton. They gave away Josh Jackson. They're paid to get off of Josh Jackson and all that. And yet they are the most horrifying collection of players.
Really good at first round picks.
They're so unbelievably good.
Yeah. It also hurts, because like I feel like Devin Booker's even weaseled his way into the MVP conversation by virtue of Chris Paul's injury. So
it finally happened. I felt like honestly, I mentioned it on the Chris Vernon show or the Rise and Grinds this morning. And then I see on ESPN, they're talking about the same thing. Like, why not Devin Booker? I'll say the only other team that feels like they can compete with the Suns right now is the Celtics.
Right.
I've heard some pushback, some skepticism from others. The Celtics, I think they're 21-3 in their last 24, and 2 of the losses were at the buzzer. Since the All-Star break, they're 7-1 against teams with a winning record, and they're blowing them out. I mean, like they whipped the Grizzlies, they whipped the Warriors, they whipped the Nuggets, they whipped the Jazz.
If you're a fan of Eli Roth style films or, Cannibal Holocaust style films, go check out what Robert Williams and the Celtics did to Hassan Whiteside this past week. It was truly hard to watch unless you're into that sort of thing.
Robert Williams said about his 3-year-old child.
I don't know this.
She hears what I'm saying, but she doesn't know about me. She doesn't know I'm Time Lord. Just like, well, yeah, brother. Yeah, she's not going to know that. She's not going to know what you do for your actual job. She's 3.
She's not picking up what I'm putting down.
She does not seem to understand that I'm Time Lord. It's just incredible.
She's going to be really upset when he like dies at the end of the season and turns into like a lady or like a British guy. Like she's going to be upset.
Yeah. Somehow the Spurs might make the play-in.
Unbelievable. Against Pop's greatest machinations.
Yeah, against everything Pop is doing, trying to lose basketball games. They're 1.5 games behind the Pelicans, 2 games behind. They're 2 games behind hosting a play-in game.
That's outstanding.
Are we upset about? Like, I mean, I don't know what they traded away. They did a great job. They traded away multiple people for picks.
I think this is our new rally cry, because if there's a team I'm comfortable facing in the playoffs, it's the Spurs. Let's get them. Let's get that Grizzlies Spurs matchup.
Yeah, I don't want any part of any of the other teams. I'm starting to get nervous about all the other teams we could possibly face.
This wonderful season could have a bitter sweetness to it.
By the way, if you're a Grizzlies fan and you want to lock in your 2022 playoff priority and also guarantee your seats to see John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. and the next Gen Grizz next season, well, then you should secure the best seats at lowest prices for the biggest games by getting 2022-23 Grizzlies season tickets. They start at $11 per game. Plus, when you become an MVP member, you receive all the next level benefits, including special events, merchandise, discounts, NBA League Pass, and more. Call 901-888-HOOP or click grizzlies.com today. And listen, you don't have to be in Memphis to buy Grizzlies season tickets. I did it for years. And honestly, John, that resale value, it's not going away. I believe the resale market's going to be hot. They were selling single game tickets, not on the secondary market. I'm talking from the box office. The team itself, there were $600 tickets. It's a hot ticket.
Yeah. That's outrageous.
I'm told that the crowds are lively regardless of the opponent. I'm told the crowd will be lively tonight.
Regardless of the pandemic.
Yeah. Regardless of, well, here's the good news. I am not an NBA podcaster turned COVID-19 expert.
Yeah.
But the early returns from America, we did so poorly with Omicron.
Yeah.
That this next one, maybe not a big deal because everyone got Omicron.
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, that is not advice to ignore your, very obvious things you can do.
I like that we're just calling the new one what my confused grandparent called all of them anyways, which I think was Deltacron. So
I hadn't heard that yet.
Since we're just going to portmanteau it to something that means everything,
obviously if you can social distance and wear your masks, do that. Keep washing your hands. But it seems like everyone dunked themselves into it so big last time.
Took a mayonnaise bath of COVID.
Oh, the mayonnaise bath. And also that takes us to the Tyler Hero watch. Tyler Hero set out the game on Wednesday night, but there was a huge event, a massive event. We wanted our resident Miami Heat fan,
maybe the Heat culture moment of the year,
Chuck Anderson, to weigh in.
I'm glad he's not here.
Chuck via text message says like, I want to talk about it. What's the big deal?
Yeah, he's just going to talk about like passion.
It's terrible.
And like, you know, that how we don't know what it's like to be around real men, because real men yell at each other and forgive and forget. And then something about body mass index will come up.
What?
But and I don't think he's wrong, but I'm still want to micromanage and go into every detail of this. I spent all night reading lips.
Oh, the reading lips thing. All right. Everyone is seeing the first clip, the clip that someone incredibly got, or like there's 10x zoom on their phone somehow. We get to see Spoelstra's face when the first thing starts. When Jimmy Butler says something, PJ Tucker opens his mouth agape, possibly responding to the horrible thing that Jimmy Butler said. We don't know. That's just that's my inference for what I find the most entertaining for this scenario. And at that point, it looks like Spoelstra says, "You want to fight me? Yeah. You really want to fight me?" My question, John. Right. Did he say fight? Could he have said another F word?
I thought he said sic semper tyrannis, but my lip reading gets a little weird.
It's a little weird, man. It's grainy. It's grainy on those zooms.
It was like sick, like Spo said sic semper tyrannis, and then Udonis Haslem said, "Call me Ishmael." And then like I was just sitting there trying to piece it all together. I do think that what I think Udonis Haslem said is like an amazing Clint Eastwood and Unforgiven level of weird things to say together, because it's like, we're not your enemy, and then immediately followed by, "I'm gonna beat your ass." So like, we're not your enemy, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Apparently Brian Windhorst reported that
perfect.
I'm gonna beat your ass is basically how Haslam addresses everyone. That's like a multiple times a day greeting. So not a ton to read into that. I mean, it was funny, the lack of concern on many of the people in the huddle.
I have a favorite moment that I don't think people have mentioned.
What's your favorite of all?
Have you seen Kyle Lowry's desperate? The entire team is on the court. Yes, desperate. The whole team is spilled onto the court. Obviously, there's a brouhaha going down, and Kyle Lowry's looking around going, "Can I get a timeout? I can get a timeout."
It honestly seems like a child who's watching mommy and daddy fight once again, and he's turning to the officials in this situation, actual game officials, saying like, "Can you step in? We need a timeout. Yeah. We need a family timeout right now."
It reminds me of like when there's like you're having a fight with someone at a restaurant and the waiter comes up. You're like, and you have to be like, we obviously need a moment. Like, it's like I can't believe that I'm having to call this.
What it also looked like a college basketball fan asking for a technical foul, like hit him with the tee. Oh yeah, hit him with the tee. Like
maybe he was asking for Jimmy to get teed
so
up.
What was Kyle Lowry jokingly or sarcastically asking for an official to tee up Jimmy Butler?
I think Kyle was just being his usual try hard 3 charges a game self and making sure that they called timeout.
And he had a great game.
He's a great player. I just really dislike him.
he's really good. But the spillover, the fight, the Spoelstra going and grabbing a prop to throw. A prop he went
and got it.
He went and got it to throw it and then it didn't break. His displeasure. I think you, John, you've done some film work and television work. I think he grabbed the wrong prop. I think he didn't get.
We call that pulling an Alec Baldwin in the business.
Oh dear. He didn't get the one that shatters. He threw the wrong one down, and it did not break. But I guess the Heat are fine, although they did not help out the Grizzlies. Like they couldn't you beat the Warriors? The Warriors were spiraling.
I mean, I kind of felt like after the Draymond dress down, the Dubs would come out live. One of the only motivational gambling tricks that worked this week was betting.
Speaking of gambling, let's close with this. Okay. I got to go get my seats early.
Got to get your grind on.
Got to get my grind on. Someone told me that the Pistons have covered like 17 consecutive games.
Yeah.
Why Why didn't anyone tell me that like 10 games ago?
Because I think I bet against the Pistons 18 consecutive times.
The Pistons are on an incredible gambling streak. I mean, they don't always listen.
Cade Cunningham's just good enough to get you killed, man.
Yeah, just good enough to cover the spread. But apparently the Pistons basically cover every time out the door. I'm not sure what their next game is, but I guess proceed with caution is all I can say. To all our fans out there. Anyway, Jon, thanks for being a little sounding board, helping us get a nice little episode up for the fans out there. If you want to support our show, do that at patreon.com/fastbreak breakfast. We're actually having a Patreon Zoom hangout this Sunday. So if you have any questions
and a watch party the following Monday.
Yeah, that's true. So this Sunday, March 27th, we're having a Zoom hangout for their patrons, answering your questions, getting into some croissant questions. And then on Monday, March 28th, if you're anywhere near the Nashville area, we're having a watch party for Grizzlies Warriors, a huge game that will possibly decide the 2 seed in the Western Conference. That's at Noble's Beer Hall in Nashville. We will be giving away prizes and there'll be drink specials. I actually just picked up some more, let's call them current prizes from the Grizzlies today. Loaded them in my car. I'll be bringing them back to Nashville.
No Stromouse Swift socks this week.
That's right. For the party on Monday at Noble. So support the show. Go to patreon.com/fastbreak breakfast. Come to the watch party. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow Jon on Twitter, Master Jon Burr. You can follow me, Fast Break Break. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Adios.
Great, man. That was awesome.
Have fun tonight.
Thanks, buddy.